All right, what's up, guys? It's 8 o'clock and we're here. This is Coaster Cafe. Um, and Grady A, that sounds like a very personal problem. You should probably go take care of that before we jump into some good subjects here. And unless you're on mobile and you could actually listen as you pee. So, nice way to start off this episode 5 of Coaster Cafe here. I'm glad to see some of you guys here waiting for this to start. That's awesome. Um, I did not know there was a Coaster Cafe at Hershey Park. So in no way are we affiliated, but Hershey Park, if you want if you want to strike up a good sponsorship deal, I'm here. So yeah, cool stuff. Hey guys, what's up? Coaster Camp, good to see you here. Coaster Camp, I forgot to comment on your Mystic Timbers review earlier. I did plan on doing that, and I actually forgot until you just commented. Great review though. You did a really good job with that. If you guys haven't checked out Coaster Camp yet and subscribed to him, go check him out. He just released his second video. He's doing great, so go check him out. What's up, Zach? Good to see you guys here. All right, so this show is gonna go as usual. We're gonna have our intro, which is right now, and then I'm gonna discuss what coffee I'm drinking tonight, discuss my thoughts on that just real quickly, and then we're gonna go. I'm gonna go through. I have a huge list of stuff I want to talk about this week. Stuff that's been happening in the amusement industry. Some of it I just found out about. I went to Screamscape and I pull all kinds of stuff off of there. Screamscape is awesome. They have a lot of great stuff on there. And there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about here tonight. And then after that, after that, we're going to do our trivia for that'll probably take about 10 minutes or so, 5 to 10 minutes. And then after that's going to be the Q&A. So make sure you guys have some good questions ready for me here, some good, interesting questions. I'm willing to answer a lot of stuff, so I'll do my best to get to everything as usual. Like I said, it's great to see all you guys here. This is episode 5, and I think we're just gonna jump into things now. So yeah, I'm actually sipping on some coffee tonight here in my Magnum XL 200 mug. The colors don't come through that great on my laptop cam, but this is a very red, and my shirt even too. Like, these are both the same red color, basically. My Diamondback shirt and the Magnum mug, they're like the same, like bright red, like red color. They look orange on camera, but they're love this Diamondback shirt. It's one of my favorite rides. I got this mug for Christmas, actually. My mom got it for me. And what I'm drinking is this right here. We got this Starbucks French roast. It obviously it's a, as you see, it's a dark roast coffee. I do like dark roast coffees occasionally. This is like really dark, so it's kind of bitter. It is really good quality coffee. Starbucks coffee is great. Typically, I prefer medium roasts. I'm not a fan of light roasts. And like I said, dark roasts, I do like. Some of them I like a lot. This is like something I like to have every now and then. So it's good. Definitely very good quality coffee. And yes, they do look orange on the screen, as I was saying. Yeah, that Starbucks coffee is it's hitting good tonight. It's great. What are your guys' favorite coffees, by the way? Let me know. Love my coffee. So, all right. And I see some of you guys asking questions here. Like I said, the Q&A is going to be at the end of the episode. Yeah, thanks for reminding him, Grady. Yes. I'm going to open up the floor for general questions after we do this intro and then talk about new stuff and then do the trivia. So it's going to be like at least another half hour or so until we start, until I start taking all kinds of questions, just so you're aware. So with that in mind, we talked about the coffee I'm drinking. And I think we're going to move on now to our news items that we have here. And let's see, we're going to start off here. with last week we talked about Lightwater Valley, and I said that they were going to be removing two rides, Twister and Apollo. Twister is a coaster. Well, it turns out apparently a good source to Screamscape told them that it's actually only one ride getting removed right now, which is Twister. Apollo is going to remain open for the time being. That's all I know about that. Not very knowledgeable on that park. So we're just going to move on to the next thing, which is actually pretty big and kind of sad in a way, but there's some uncertainty about it. And that is the Aerodynamics Hypercoaster, which opened in 1994, Desperado at Buffalo Bills in Prim, Nevada. Its future has a big question mark on it. We don't know what's going to happen to this ride. There's a lot of uncertainty. The casino is not giving us any straight answers on this. They're just kind of beating around it and just kind of answering inquiries in a very general way. I hope it does stay. I hope it stays. I would like to actually get to that ride someday. I think it looks awesome. But basically, what's going on right now? The casino stated about maybe a week or so ago, a little more than that, that it's not going to open anytime soon, and speculation arose whether it's going to close for good. There was some confusion about that. Well, a lot of people have reached out to the casino. Like I said, they're not giving a yes or no, but we actually just got an update today, February 8th. Well, if you can call it an update, but somebody messaged them and I saw a screenshot of this on Screamscape. They basically said they cannot confirm that it will never run again, which gives us some hope. So some people believe that it may be open back up later this year, like maybe in the summer. It was supposed to open just for the summer last year. It actually opened late, I guess, in like August or September, something like that. But maybe they're just going to run it some of the time like they did last year. So maybe it'll just like be close for these off months, which that would be awesome. Hopefully they keep it around and at least keep it running in some capacity. I would love to get to that ride at one point. So hopefully it stays for, at least another 5 years at the very least. Of course it is an older arrow. These arrows are dropping like flies. Like I said, the future is very uncertain with that. Now, the next thing we have here, SeaWorld San Diego's Emperor B&M Dive Coaster is complete. The track is complete. The trains are on the track. So I would imagine in not too long, we'll see some testing for that. And also another SeaWorld news. SeaWorld San Antonio announced that Texas Stingray, their new GCI wooden coaster, is going to open to the public February 29th at 10:30 a.m. And the pass holder preview is going to be February 22nd and February 23rd. So that's pretty awesome. That looks like a fantastic ride. I think it could be like sort of a sleeper hit of this year. It looks amazing in my opinion. I've been on Mystic Timbers and Thunderhead as far as GCIs go. I thought they were both freaking phenomenal rides, and this looks very on par with those, I think. So looks like it has lots of airtime. Oh yeah, it is opening on Leap Day. That's true. Yeah, February 29th is the Leap Day. This is a leap year. Yeah, that's awesome. Parks only have this opportunity once every 4 years. So, yep, GCI has done it again. You're right. So the next news item we have here is a little bit more substantial. Power Park, which is an amusement park in Finland, has posted a teaser video for a new coaster that's going to be opening this year in 2020. There's an interesting sort of backstory behind this, I guess. Now, they have not named this coaster, and they didn't reveal any details with this clip, but it's assumed that this new coaster is going to be by Gerstlauer. We pretty much know that. Many people have speculated, though, for a few months that they may be just adding onto their existing Gerstlauer coaster, which is called Junker. That looks like a great ride, by the way. Opened in 2011, I believe. But this is really weird because nobody knows for sure if the track that's there is for a completely new coaster or if it's just going to be this expansion onto Junker. But I will say that from the teaser clip I saw, which is like 20 seconds, it's only like 10 seconds of the actual ride. The track that's shown in the video does match the color scheme of Junker pretty much to a T. But for what it's worth, there's a separate RCDB listing for this new 2020 coaster, which is separate from Junker's page. So I don't know. Hopefully it'll be a new coaster. If not, I think an expansion would be really cool to see, just to see how, Gerstlauer would add on to an existing ride of theirs. Sort of give it the Phantom's Revenge treatment. So, something else. This is really interesting to me, actually. Um, the Santa Monica West Coaster, which is a Chance slash Morgan coaster, which has been around for like at least 20 years now. It's just a small family coaster on the beach. Nothing crazy. It's a really famous coaster. It's been in a lot of like movies and various types of media, probably commercials and stuff like that before. But it's at Pacific Park, which is at Santa Monica Pier, California, and it will be refurbished and given a $1 million upgrade, and it'll be ready this summer. It's going to be themed as a tribute to Route 66. It's going to have a new train themed to a classic roadster, and various things will be added in the station, including gas pumps, Route 66 maps, and other automotive memorabilia. So, not a very notable ride, but I think this is actually really cool that they're doing something like this and actually giving a ride like that this much attention. That park probably can't really afford a whole like brand new large scale coaster. So I think them putting a decent amount of money into an existing ride that they have that's really well known is kind of a good route for them, probably. I think the Route 66 theme sounds cool. So hopefully they can pull it off. I'm not expecting any elaborate theming, nothing Disney or Universal or anything like that. But I'm sure it'll be decent. So hopefully they prove me right. So let me know what you guys think about that. The $1 million upgrade to the West Coaster. Yes, Orion is complete. Yeah, I figured Candemonium was almost done. I was thinking it had to be because I mean they've been working on that for a while now. All right, so the next thing I have on here on the docket is Peony Playland in Canada. They have that old wooden coaster, which is just called Coaster. It gets compared to Phoenix a lot because it just has the single bar that doesn't come down at all, just a single fixed position bar. So it has crazy airtime, just like standing ejector airtime, basically. Like I said, compared to Phoenix a lot. But Peony Playland has been talking about this expansion for a while now that is still in the works, and it is said that sometime in the spring the park is going to present a thorough plan to the city hall for finances and stuff like that. The expansion is going to see the park increase from 15 acres to 22 acres, and some of the existing property will be reconfigured as well. So, pretty interesting stuff. Now, I haven't read any more into this myself, but if you go onto Screamscape, they actually have a link to a site called Vancouver Urbanized. That's Vancouver Urbanized. And they have more info on this. So, if you want to read more about it, apparently there's more info there. But it's said that yes, they have the Final Destination 3 coaster, but that actually closed recently, or it's closing soon, but I think it actually closed already. Oops, sorry guys. Let me see if it actually let me see if it's closed yet. It's currently standing but not operating. Yeah, it's the roller coaster that's in Final Destination 3. Um which they made it look like it was flying off the tracks and stuff. But it's Corkscrew is a Vekoma MK 1200, which is a corkscrew with barren curve layout. 75 feet tall, 68-foot drop, 40 miles an hour, and 2 corkscrew inversions. Kind of cool, I guess, looking ride, but it's nothing spectacular. So yeah, that's actually standing but not operating currently, and I believe it's slated to be removed, if I'm not mistaken. So I remember hearing about that. Kyle says Six Flags. I have not ridden it. No, I haven't been to Canada to go to any of those parks. Kyle says Six Flags Great Adventure announced that Jersey Devils plan to be open the beginning of June. Is that true? Like, are you saying they actually announced it? It's opening at beginning of June. I need to see this. I need to see this if this is out there somewhere. All right, so we're gonna move on to our next topic here. It looks like we have at least 3 more things to talk about. All right. So Six Flags Qiddiya, which is that infamous concept laid out for us, which is the new Six Flags operated park in Saudi Arabia. There's been an article posted about this. I haven't actually looked at this yet or looked at the interviews, but there's a new article about the planned resort, along with an interview with 2 of the executives behind the project and other related experiences. And this is funny to me. It is said to be the most heavily themed Six Flags park ever built. Like that's a big feat to accomplish or whatever. Like we basically knew based on what we know already that this would definitely be the most heavily themed Six Flags park just because of the concept that we've seen. And it's funny because Six Flags is operating this park if it ever comes to fruition. They're going to operate it. They're not actually going to own it. So it's a Six Flags branded park and it's going to have a lot more theming than any other Six Flags park, which like I said, how high of a bar is that? Not really. Not bashing on Six Flags. It's just that, just like Cedar Fair, there's not really a whole lot in the way of theming. So not really a hard feat. So I thought it was kind of funny that they said that this will be the most heavily themed Six Flags park to date. Like something exciting. But if this actually does come to fruition, the park looks like it could actually have some pretty decent theming to it, in all honesty. So yeah, I don't know about the movie. It's been so long since I seen that clip. But the corkscrew at Peony Playland, yeah, no vertical loop, just 2 corkscrews. So maybe they edited it in the movie to make it look like it was a vertical loop for whatever reason. I don't know. All right, guys. So yeah, let me know what you think about Six Flags Qiddiya. Do you think it's actually going to happen? I want to say that it's gonna, but I don't have high hopes for it. So, all right. No, don't think it's gonna happen. Yeah, I don't. I'm not expecting it to either. I like I said, I'm not too hopeful about it. Especially that Falcon's flight rendering. It's just hilarious. That rendering is so awful. It'd be awesome to see a coaster like maybe along the lines of that. Like obviously it would have to be made a lot more realistic than that. But hopefully they do get open and get an awesome huge coaster like that. But it's all up in the air. Who knows? But moving on to the next the final couple news items here. Screamscape noted that nothing has surfaced to actually back this up, but apparently someone reported to Screamscape that they drove past the site of the Washington State Fairgrounds, and it looks like that the 2 steel coasters at the Washington State Fairgrounds may have been taken down. Those steel coasters are Wildcat, which if you've ridden Wildcat at Cedar Point, basically same exact ride, one of those Schwarzkopf Wildcat models. Really fun family coaster. Really underrated, I think. Airtime Thrills talked about that in a recent video of his, actually. Pretty fun family coaster. And also Rainier Rush. If go watch a POV of Rainier Rush if you haven't yet. It looks absolutely terrible. It's known as one of the worst One of the worst coasters in the world. I believe it. It looks absolutely janky as all hell. It has this weird incline loop and it looks so rough. Oh my gosh. Before Canada Coaster Fan, RIP, got his original channel taken down, he had a POV on his channel where it was Rainier Rush, and during the POV, whatever camera he was using just like completely like just like it just like spun around, like it just like went way out of whack. Like this ride is so rough. It looks absolutely terrible. Look up a POV. It's bad. It hurts just looking at it, just looking at pictures and just watching it. Oh. So yeah, Wildcat and Rainier Rush at Washington State Fairgrounds, 2 steel coasters there. Apparently, it looks like maybe they've been torn down. That hasn't been confirmed in any way. So, Screamscape is looking for verification for that, by the way. So, if you're around that area and you want to claim to fame, you can send your verification into Screamscape there. Yep, I saw those Airtime Thrill videos, of course. I always watch his right away. One of the best channels out there. I don't know if I've seen the POV of Tornado at M&D has a corkscrew. I think I know which coaster you're talking about. Let me look it up and see, just make sure I know what you're talking about. I think I've seen that. Let's see. Tornado at M&D. Okay. M&D Scotland. Oh, I've seen this before. Yes. Yeah, operating since 98. It's a Pinfari. Okay. Man, that looks like a really long Pinfari ride. To be honest, I could see how the ride would actually be bad if you rode it. Um, I guess it's bad. Does anybody know? Has anybody ridden it? But um it looks really cool if you just look at pictures of it, like here on RCDB. So this Pinfari coaster is 78 feet tall. So it's actually a really big Pinfari. 44 miles per hour, and it has 2 loops. But for the 2006 season, the last inversion, which is a corkscrew, was removed from the Tornado and was replaced by a heavily banked curve. So, yeah, after the stream, I'll have to go check that out. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. It's really interesting. It's a Pinfari with 2 vertical loops, and it also used to have a corkscrew. I think the fact that they took the corkscrew out probably kind of speaks to the quality of it, but this is a really interesting looking ride. It's almost like Pinfari's take on a Schwarzkopf looper, but not, it's kind of janky. Like it has some janky turns and stuff. The restraints look absolutely terrible. It looks very uncomfortable. But the layout actually looks pretty cool. And it's very cool just to look at. Like it's a cool looking ride. Very interesting for a Pinfari coaster. Is Pinfari still in business? No, they are not. They're defunct. Okay. Let's see. They built 187 roller coasters. Last one opened in, well, 2019 is probably relocated. No, it's not. Oh, okay. I don't know. Anyway, we're kind of going off on a tangent here. But that's what this is all about, getting you guys involved in the discussion and getting us to discuss different things here. So, oh wow, that's crazy. Of course, I remember Drakenfire. I mean, I don't remember it like because I wasn't in the community at the time, but yeah, I mean, I know all about it, of course. So, yeah, and they removed the corkscrew from that. My cat's trying to get out, so hold on for a second here. All right, I'm back. So, let's see. Something else I have on here. This is the last thing I've listed is this was actually suggested by Coaster Lover 2001 who's in the chat right now. I made a community post on YouTube earlier and he suggested this and actually this is something I forgot about. I watched Coaster Studios video like yesterday or the day before whenever it came out and it's actually really interesting. This is about Fuji-Q Highland in Japan, okay? So, Fuji-Q Highland apparently for 2022 is looking at getting a roughly, I think it's like 30 or 33 million dollar roller coaster, which holy crap. Um man, 33 million dollars. Now that leaves a lot of options on the table. I mean, that's a lot for a roller coaster. Um um we could be talking about I definitely go watch Coaster Studios blah 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 Coaster Studios video that he did um about it where he talks about different options that he thinks could be coming to the park. Um but a $30 million roller coaster. Now let's think about that. That leaves lots of room for pretty much any type of coaster you want. Um outside of like heavily themed things like at Universal and Disney, besides stuff like that, which obviously this isn't that. So basically, they can get whatever kind of coaster they want with that money. So, and it could be an Intamin accelerator, an Intamin Giga of some sort, some crazy launch coaster. Like, there's so many options. An RMC. Um, I don't know. I really don't have a lot to add to this conversation. I don't know Fuji Q that well. Never been to Japan, blah blah blah. But yeah, and that's the thing. An RMC is not going to be that expensive. So unless they're like spending that money on like two coasters or something, getting a big RMC and something else, it, an RMC is not gonna. There's no way an RMC could be $33 million. There's just no way. Um, Yeah, and that's the thing. Gary T brings up a great point. Like Coaster Studios mentioned in his video, they're very tight on land. So it's most likely, like many of their other coasters at the park, this one is probably going to have to get a little bit creative. They might have to move some stuff around in the park, possibly remove things. They might have to use a portion of the parking lot, and it's likely that it's going to be a very narrow coaster. So something that's long and narrow in footprint, like many of their existing coasters are. Um, and that's something I learned from Coaster Studios. I didn't even know that. Uh, so they're tight on the land. Um, so what is it going to be that's long and narrow and costs $33 million? I now in my mind, I would hope for something just spectacular out of this world, like a brand new Intamin Giga or something like that with a cable lift or, whatever. But is it going to be that? Probably not. But, you can dream. And, that money basically leaves us with pretty much any kind of coaster out there. So an Intamin Impulse, I hope it's not an Impulse. As awesome as it would be to have that Intamin Giga, like I just said, um, I hope Fujiyama stays. That looks like a really good ride, actually. That Togo hypercoaster that was like 250 feet tall, was the tallest in the world when it opened. It looks awesome. So, all right, and then the last thing we're going to talk about before we move on to the trivia. Um, Actually, they're building an Impulse right now, Airplane Fan. They're building an Impulse in China. I actually mentioned that in my Whatever Happened To video that I did. Shameless plug here. Go check out my Whatever Happened To series. I did one about the Impulse coaster back in like October. Um, I want to bring that series back again, by the way. I love doing those, so I'll probably do another one at some point. But anyway, they're building one in China that is going to be taller than Wicked Twister. So it's going to be, and they are actually building it. I don't know how far along they are now, but I did see construction pictures online. They are really building it. A 229-foot tall impulse coaster. That's a twist and twist model, like Wicked Twister. Pretty cool, but I hope that's not. I hope that's not Fuji Q Highlands. You know, I hope that's not their $33 million coaster. Okay, so like I said, there's one more thing I want to talk about here, and this is just something that was suggested earlier, also on my community post. Somebody said, Aaron Coaster said a good topic to talk about would be notable parks with large gaps in their coaster collection. And as an example, he put Six Flags New England without a launch coaster, a good launch coaster. Yeah, Six Flags New England. You could argue Cedar Point because they don't have a modern wind coaster, but it's Cedar Point. They have pretty much everything. Um, what other parks have a notable gap? Give me some suggestions. You guys are better at this stuff. Right offhand, I mean, I know there's a lot of parks with huge gaps. Yeah, Six Flags America has tons of gaps. Yeah. Yep. But a lot of parks that aren't that well rounded, really. Yeah, Ben, Carowind's supporting lineup is terrible. Terrible, terrible. They have they have 4 really good coasters. And then after that, I find a couple of the other ones there to be all right and re-rideable, but nothing notable and pretty boring. And then all the other coasters there are just one and dones. So Memphis, yeah, Tim K says Memphis Kittyland needs a solid hyper. Yeah, they do. They could use a B&M hyper. Maybe they'll get a mock or something even. Memphis Kittyland. Yeah, I've actually been to Memphis Kittyland long, 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 long time ago, probably close to 15 years ago when I was very young. So I actually have the credit of their kitty coaster. I've been to Memphis Kittyland. So always voted like one of the best kids parks too. Six Flags America show RMC Roar. Yeah, that'd be great to see for that park. All right, and then Coaster Camp says King's Dominion does not have a great lineup. I would have to kind of disagree with you there personally, to be completely honest. I think they have a really solid lineup. I don't think it's fantastic. It's definitely not perfect. Not that well rounded, but I found King's Dominion to just overall be a really good park. I love the park, and I thought the coaster lineup was actually pretty solid. Because in my opinion, you got RMC or yeah, RMC. You have Twisted Timbers and I-305, 2 of the best coasters in the world. I think Dominator is really underrated. It's a fantastic floorless coaster. I love that ride. That's my 3rd favorite in the park. And they have a pretty solid old school launch coaster with Flight of Fear. That's a good ride. They have, Italian Job, awkward, backlot stunt coaster, which is, a good family launch coaster. They have a couple wooden coasters. Racer 75 is pretty fun. That's a good ride. Been maintained well. Grizzly, very rough, kind of mixed views on that, but it's another wooden coaster. So honestly, I think King's Dominion has a pretty solid lineup. Not the best, not nearly one of the best lineups. Um, definitely not the most well-rounded. but I think it's solid. So, and they're going to be getting a wing coaster in 2021 most likely. So, Cedar Point should DynCorp steal vengeance. Yes, very true, Coaster Camp. King's Dominion does not have a hyper. That'd be nice if they got a hyper. I don't think it's going to happen, though, to be completely honest. Not anytime soon. Yes, insane coaster junkies. Yes, I'm all for that. Waldemir needs an RMC Raptor. Absolutely. I hope RMC gets that Waldemir Raptor. Or I hope I hope Waldemir gets that RMC Raptor. Man, I'm on a roll tonight. All right. I don't know where Central Park Funland is. I guess it's one of those entertainment centers. Yeah, that's what I was saying, hype train. I have no idea if that's gonna happen. Who knows? We'll see. It's very up in the air. Knowing Six Flags history, I would not be surprised if it does not happen. So all right, now yeah, Michigan's Adventure just needs something, period. All right, y'all, Fredericksburg, Virginia, that's where it is. Okay. So we're gonna move on now to our trivia. Real quick though, Grady A. Bellevue, it's all right, I guess. I bought my car in Bellevue 5 years ago. Um, it's a town. It seems all right, kind of. I don't know. I barely ever go there. Every now and then I go to Bellevue. They have a good Mexican restaurant. All right, so anyway, um, oh, I'm glad to hear that, Stanford Bridge. You're booking a coaster trip. Please do tell us more. But while you're typing that up, we are going to be talking about trivia. All right. So it's trivia time. So Stanford Bridge joined us at just the right time because he can bless us with his awesome knowledge of all these parks around the world that he's been to. So um let's see. So I have a couple trivia questions as usual for you guys. I have two questions again. So the first question, okay. In Argentina, there is a roller coaster built in 1983 by the now world-renowned Intamin AG. Though constructed as one of Intamin's first roller coasters, this ride has actually never operated and has been standing but not operating ever since it was built in 1983. What is this coaster called, and or what country is it located in? And if you know the name of the park, you can say that too. I value your knowledge, Stanford Bridge. So does anybody know? A lot of people probably don't know about this ride. It's not well known, probably because it was built in 1983 and never opened. So it's been almost 40 years since it was built, and it was built by Intamin. And it's a really interesting looking ride. But Tim K might be onto something, guys. Tim K might be onto something. Hint, hint. Oh, I didn't realize it was on a Theme Park Crazy abandoned video. I probably saw it at some point, but I didn't find it on there. I actually found it on RCDB when I was looking through Intamin rides one time. Yes, it is Vertigo Rama. I I'm sorry, I just saw that Grady A answered it. Grady A answered it first, and he mentioned it a while ago, and I guess I'm just not very focused because I didn't see that he answered it. It is Vertigo Rama. So yeah, the answer is Vertigo Rama, which is located at Parque de la Ciudad in Buenos Aires, Argentina. It was built for the 1983 season, the year after the park opened. However, since being constructed, the roller coaster has never operated. This is such a shame because the ride is actually quite impressive, especially for the time. It's actually a double track racing coaster. Each side stands 124 feet tall, has a supposed top speed of 56.5 miles per hour, and each side has an astounding track length, even by today's standards, of 5,958 feet. Wow, man, that's almost 6,000 feet long on each side. So the ride is really long. It takes up a huge size or, a pretty good sized plot of land, but it's just been sitting unoperational for nearly 40 years. Definitely go check this ride out on RCDB if you haven't seen it. Like I said, it's called Vertigo Rama. Um, it is very interesting. It features a very distinct, almost aerodynamic style track design. It's completely different from any Intamin you'll find today. Um, and apparently, this park, even though it's listed as operational, the park says it's operating on RCDB, but I guess the park closed some years ago now, apparently. And when they opened, you know, um, when they opened, there was this big, like, very well known scandal going on or something, and like half of the park never opened at all, and it was just left unfinished, and it's just kind of sad, the whole thing. And the fact that you have this massive, massive, very long Intamin racing coaster that just sat there. It's like, what the heck? And there's pictures on RCDB, and you see the train sitting on the track, and it's like, oh my gosh, we can't even watch it run or anything. The trains were just sitting there, and it's just amazing. Like, no POVs or anything, like no testing footage, nothing. It's just we've never seen this ride operate. And obviously, there's no hope of it opening at any point. Obviously, it's long gone. It'll be there until they finally demolish it. If it hasn't been demolished yet, I mean, maybe it has, who knows. All right, guys. So we have one more trivia question here for you guys, for all you smart people out there. All you guys. Okay. So, Six Flags is one of the largest amusement park chains out there and has been in operation for 58 years, dating back to 1962. They currently operate 15 amusement parks all across North America, and the company has quite a long and at times very chaotic history. Out of the 15 parks currently operated by Six Flags, there are two of them that feature more defunct roller coasters than operating roller coasters currently. What are those two parks? Two currently operating Six Flags parks without using RCDB that feature more defunct roller coasters than operating roller coasters to their name. So Six Flags has 15 operating parks across North America, and there are two more defunct coasters than operating, and they are not either St. Louis or over Texas. Those parks are out. New England is a good guess because that's actually one of the parks that has almost the same number of defunct as operating, but it's still less defunct than operating. So it is not St. Louis, over Texas, or New England. Or Magic Mountain. Great Adventure is one of them. Stamford Bridge has one of them. Great Adventure is one of the parks. The other one might actually surprise some people, I feel like, if you're not aware what it is. Tim K, you have Frontier City in Great Adventure. Yes, that adventure. That is the answer. So, Six Flags Great Adventure in Jackson, New Jersey, which opened in 1974, features 13 roller coasters for the 2020 season, but the park actually has quite the collection of defunct roller coasters to their name, with a whopping 15 defunct coasters. That's crazy. And also, Frontier City in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, which opened in 1958 originally, has not always been a Six Flags park. It was owned by Six Flags from 98 until 2007 when it was sold off. And then in 2018, Six Flags negotiated a deal to operate Frontier City once again. just operate it. They don't actually own it. But Frontier City features 5 roller coasters currently that operate, but has 6 roller coasters that previously operated at the park. Now, I need to add a disclaimer to this answer, because if you go to the RCDB page for Frontier City, it lists 8 defunct coasters for this park rather than 6. But actually, 2 of those 8 were never rides that they were rides relocated to Frontier City from other parks, but were never built on the property because of damage, and they were eventually scrapped altogether. Therefore, Frontier City has 5 operating coasters and 6 defunct coasters that actually operated at the park at one time. So, pretty interesting stuff there. The one was a mine train. The one that the out of the 2 that were shipped to Frontier City but were never actually built there, there was a mine train from Astroworld, an Arrow mine train, and the other one was like a wood a steel wild mouse coaster with like a wood frame, I guess, but that was also damaged too much when being shipped, so they weren't able to build it. All right. Well, this has been fun. This has been really fun. 46 minutes in, and we talked about a lot of new stuff, and we did some awesome trivia. So I'm gonna open this up now for questions. If you guys have any good, interesting questions, or just whatever, just let me know, and we'll talk. Oh, Coaster Camp. I did a review of Waldemere actually several months back. I love Waldemere. I've been there many, many times. One of the first parks really that I visited, first time I visited was 2009, the year after RF2 opened. Ravine Flyer 2 is one of my favorite rides. It's actually the very first video on my channel. It's a review of Ravine Flyer 2. Um, yeah, I wish it was wish it was summer so you could ride it as well. Have you ever been to the park, Evan? Have you ever actually been there when it was open? Yeah, I love Waldemere. It's a great little family park with a great charm. Really nice park, kept up very well. Ravine Flyer 2 is maintained excellently. It's really good. Do we have questions? I'm not seeing any questions yet. We need some good, interesting questions. Anything you can think of, okay? Nothing's off the table. Doesn't have to be amusement park related. Stamford Bridge has a really good question here. How many days in a row do I think I could comfortably hit new parks without fatigue? Um, I mean, I would definitely start feeling a little bit of fatigue, I think, after like 3 or 4 days, but I would say I could probably go for a good 6 or 7 days. I'm actually going to be doing a trip in early June with my friend where we hit up um like 7 parks in 6 days. They're not all completely new parks for me. There's like 1 or 2 that I've been to, but yeah, I would say about 6 or 7 days I could probably do pretty easily. We'll see how it goes. Consider it a challenge. Oh, you've never been there. Yeah, it is really great. It's a nice little park. So definitely try to get there if you can at some point when it's actually open. Waldemere is in Erie, PA. Right on Lake Erie. Tim K, I have not joined Ace yet. You know, money, whenever I have a little bit more extra money at some point down the road. I'm not in a huge rush to get it, but I'm gonna get it sometime in like the next couple months or so, I'm sure. It's not real expensive. So I'm not an Ace member yet, but I will be. I'm still gonna get that. My coaster count is 96. 90, yeah, 96. 66 steel and 30 wood. Overrated and underrated coasters. I don't know. We've talked about this question so many times on here before, and I never have a good answer for it. I haven't ridden a lot that I think is really overrated or that I think is really underrated. So, my favorite number in the alphabet on a scale of 1 to 10 is, 30B1000. Which park in Europe looks the best to me? Stamford Bridge asks. Wow, that's a difficult question. Man, you guys really have a knack for putting me on the spot here. You guys really put me on the spot with some of these questions. Let's check out, I mean, I did ask for it, in all fairness, I did ask for this. Let me look up parks in Europe on RCDB so I know I'm not forgetting any. Uh, Holy crap, there's a lot of parks in Europe. Oh my gosh. Well, let's see. Well, I would say Europa Park for sure is one of them. But one that looks the best. That's a tough call. Maybe Port Aventura. Port Aventura is like honestly like really high on my like bucket list of like international parks. Port Aventura just looks like an awesome theme park with great coasters. Shambhala, whatever. Shambhala looks amazing. Um, oh, okay. Thanks, Coaster Lover 2001. Thanks for joining us. Good having you again. Thanks for the suggestion earlier too. Good suggestion. So good having you. Oh, you're thinking of Tim K. You're thinking about joining GOCC. That great something coaster club, Great Ohio Coaster Club. Is that what it is? I've heard of it. So yeah, Stamford Bridge, by the way. Yes, Port Aventura is my final answer for you. Favorite XFL team? I don't know. I don't care about sports. Not a sports fan. Don't know anything about it. what What about Six Flags Great Adventure and Magic Mountain? Is CP going to get 500 foot for 2020? So what you're saying is CP going to break the 500-foot barrier for a coaster in 2021? No. I think we're still a ways off from that. Poop emoji. Poop. Okay, which park and which coaster do you feel the most nostalgic about? That question's from Stamford Bridge again. Um, well, I would say I feel the most nostalgic for Geauga Lake because fortunately I did get to visit that park on a few occasions in 2005 and 2007. So I got a pretty good feel for the park actually. And I just feel nostalgic about it because, I have great memories of going there and I love that park and it's gone now. So, but otherwise, I would say Cedar Point because it's my home park. I've been going there like all my life. So, and the coaster I feel most nostalgic about. I would also probably say again, maybe Big Dipper because, it's at Geauga Lake. It's gone now. But otherwise, the one I feel most nostalgic about is probably like I would maybe say Blue Streak because it was the coaster that got me into coasters, but I feel like I'm more nostalgic for Maverick because After I became an enthusiast in about 2005, after that, I kind of got to watch the whole like speculation for Maverick and watching it get built and everything like that, seeing the Heartline roll removed, and then actually, of course, getting to ride it after it opened. So I would say I'm most nostalgic for Maverick, probably. Hey, Brandon, what's up? Brandon, you missed the beginning of the stream, but I am drinking Starbucks French roast, if you care to know. And you might also want to know I'm drinking out of my Magnum XL 200 mug. Brandon, do you want to tell everybody what you used to scream with your little friends on Magnum XL 200? Please tell everybody on here what you used to scream on Magnum XL 200. I'm sure they would like to know. Okay, Ben brings up a good point. He said, I'd be surprised if CP gets a coaster in 2021, to be honest. You know, I'm kind of with you on that, and I probably sound hypocritical because in at least one of my videos, I said that 2021 is probably going to be CP's year for a coaster. But honestly, I think CP could easily go another couple years without a coaster. And like Ben also said, considering Steel Vengeance didn't do a single thing for their attendance, that's kind of true. It didn't really boost their attendance any. And honestly, I would be completely satisfied if Cedar Point went another couple years without a coaster. Like, we're already going there. We're still going to be going there. Like, you think I'm going to not go to Cedar Point because they didn't build another new coaster yet? Like, Steel Vengeance just opened in 2018. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they did get a coaster for 2021, but I also would not be surprised if they did not. So, um, yeah, I think Cedar Point does not need a new coaster yet. And I think it would not be a big surprise to me if Cedar Point didn't even get a coaster until like 2022 or even 2023. Um, I think a lot of people would probably be pissed off about that. But as far as I'm concerned, like, we're Cedar Point gets so many new coasters and attractions. We have freaking Steel Vengeance, like the best coaster in the world. I mean, and we that just opened in 2018, so it's like I would still be pretty satisfied even if they didn't get another new coaster for like another year or two. Oh, okay. Tim K, it's only $20 for Great Ohio Coaster Club. That's an awesome deal. Good local deals. Okay. Yes, Grady A, I don't know if you're talking about Gary T's comment being false, but it's actually true that Frontier City has one of the lightning loops from Great Adventure, which is pretty awesome. It's actually called Diamond Back. Not one word Diamond Back, but Diamond Back. So, which defunct Cedar Point ride do I miss the most? Um Definitely not Mean Streak. And I'm saying that mainly because Brandon's in the chat here. I definitely don't miss Mean Streak, Brandon. Um, I would say Whitewater Landing. Actually, I really miss Whitewater Landing a lot. We got an awesome replacement in Maverick, obviously one of the best coasters out there. But I rode Whitewater Landing a lot when I was younger. Um, and those log flumes are just really rare nowadays. And Whitewater Landing was awesome. Oh, Brandon's triggered. I triggered him. That's exactly what I was going for. Brandon loves Mean Streak, guys. So you guys need to tell him he needs to get on Steel Vengeance. If he thought Mean Streak was awesome, he needs to get on Steel freaking Vengeance. I know I'm basic. Come at me. And Brandon also said it's definitely not age appropriate. It's kind of true. The little thing that he used to scream on Magnum XL 200's um you know, airtime hills at the end. Definitely not age appropriate, but he used to scream some vulgarity on those hills. I mean, I can't blame him. That ejector airtime is insane. So, yeah, actually Stamford Bridge, yeah, I am aware it's only $35. That's the one I'm going to go for. Cuz $50 you can get the publication, but I don't really care about that either way. So, oh, Kyle, I think you asked for advice last week and I said to message me. But yes, you can email or you can give me your email or something. Somehow give me your email or whatever. Yeah, absolutely. I would love to help you. Um, definitely try to get a hold of me, give me your email somehow and we can email and I can try to give you some of my advice about starting a channel. I would love to help you out. Oh, you're Grady A. I know what you're talking about. Sorry for that. I I misconstrued what you were saying. Yeah, that's false. Call security. Yeah, in the Big Dipper auction video from Geauga Lake, the woman said that was false, and they're all like, "Call security, get her out of here." Which I think maybe it was false. I think there was a lot of there was a lot of BS going on there. Um, it was kind of shady, but oh, Brandon likes it rough. He did. He loved it rough. Mean Streak is probably his favorite ride. I gave it when the video I made where I reviewed my like all the defunct coasters I had ridden up to that point. I gave Mean Streak like a 3 out of 10 or something like that, maybe a 4. I think I gave it like a 3 though. And Brandon was just like whining so hard. He's like, "Oh, you gave it a nah, 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 nah." He was whining because I gave Mean Streak like a 3 out of 10 or something like that. So, but he loves it rough, so I can see why he likes it. Oh, Tim K, Mill Race. Yeah. Mill Race was taken out before I was born, so um, you know, and then Raptor opened the year I was born, so definitely Raptor's an awesome ride, but Mill Race looked like it was a really good old school flume as well. So that it definitely looks like a great ride. Oh, that would be terrible, Ben. I don't even want to think about that. Sad Pizza says, "How many pennies would I get if I got one every time Maverick broke down? You'd be a rich man, especially from the 2019 season alone." Grady A says, "Mean Streak is my number 4." Are you like saying that unironically? Stamford Bridge says, "Saddest current version of a really classic old ride, the Garfield ride at Kennywood." Oh man, I love the Garfield ride. I mean, I haven't been on it in like almost 10 years at this point, but I love the Garfield ride. I mean, it might have been better before as like the old Miller or whatever, but I'm surprised it still has that Garfield theme. It's switched back and forth so much, and there was a rumor a few years ago they were gonna change it back to, like, the old mill. That never happened, so Tim K, you're not old. Age is just a number. Hey, thanks for joining me, Grady A. Peace out. Glad you had fun. What Coaster Fusion asks, "What did I think of the Do Don't parody?" It's actually Do Don't. Um It was great. That was actually that was pretty good. I enjoy those coaster parody videos by Coaster Studios. Yeah. That was a pretty good one. I don't know if it was one of the best, but, Very good, very on par with any of the coaster parodies. I really love the interrogation that they did, that was great. Yeah, I think the old mill theme would be really cool to see, for sure. Because the ride itself, I mean, even disregarding the Garfield theming and stuff, I think it's a good ride, so how many times have I been on Steel Vengeance? I don't know. I don't see, I'm not one of those enthusiasts that keeps track of how many times they ride every single ride. I do not do that. That's to me, that's just too far. I don't keep track of how many times I ride something, but I would say I've probably been on Steel Vengeance at least 15 times. I would say at least 15. So probably around there, just estimating. Tim K saw some good Garfield animatronics at IAPA that Kennywood could use. Huh. I'll have to check that out. I didn't see any of that. Yeah, Airtime Thrills was in the Dota Don't parody. I was really happy to see him. Yeah, good stuff. Me and Airtime Thrills should do a collab. What do you guys think about that? Would you guys like to see me and Airtime Thrills do a collaboration? Because I would love to do that. I was just thinking about that earlier. I'm gonna message Chris and I'm gonna say we need to do a collab together because that'd be freaking amazing. Yeah, I keep track of my credits too. Like I know how many coasters I've been on. I love keeping track of my credits, like and what my rankings are up to a certain amount. But to keep track of how many times you ride everything, that's just getting too meticulous about it. And to me, it would just take the fun out of it. Yes, yes, yes. We are all for the parrot or the collaboration. So, how do you join Ace? You can just join online. I mean, you just go on their website, pay for it. They send you a card in the mail. So, my friend just did it. So that's how I know. Gary T says, "What coaster do I think Cedar Fair will remove?" Um, I think Anaconda. It's time for that to go. Wouldn't be too sad about that. Um, yeah, Anaconda's gonna go soon. Um, Excalibur's gonna go soon, I think. I think Gemini's days are numbered as well, unfortunately. I hate to say that. Um, Wicked Twister, maybe? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. They need to RMC Wolverine Wildcat, but Michigan's Adventure, so oh, good to have you back. Thanks for joining us again. Do I think a 4D like Ejaneka or X2 could be built anytime soon or in the near future? Well, I also did a whatever happened to video about those 4D coasters a while back. So go check that out. But in short, no, I don't think so. I did also did a video about the B&M Surf Coaster. It's the last video I uploaded actually. So go check that out as well because I have some interesting theories in there for you. So maybe, but not one like Ejaneka or X2 though. You think Anaconda has some life left in it? Yeah, I mean, I think maybe it has another couple seasons at most, like 2 seasons maybe. I wouldn't be surprised if it closes after this year though, personally. Stanford Bridge says I'm currently buying a platinum pass through Dorney. It's $220. Am I misremembering, or is it more expensive to get it through parks like CP and Kings Island? Um, my Cedar Point Platinum Pass, obviously I did the renewal, so it was like a few bucks less, but I'm only spending like just for like the rate of the pass itself without the meal plan and the drink plan. I'm paying like 195, and that's like with taxes and stuff, I believe. So, I guess Cedar Point is cheaper, which surprises me for the platinum pass. So, Stamford Bridge, do you live like fairly close to Dorney then? I have not been to Indiana Beach. I would love to get there though. Looks like a really cool park. Couple really good wooden coasters too, it looks like those CCIs. Yeah, I thought all the parks had the same price for platinum. That's what I thought, Ben. Um, uh, no, CP Cedar Point is not $360 for a platinum pass. If you add on stuff, yes. Like, I mean, I am spending about that much because I got the platinum meal plan and the drink plan. But without just the platinum pass itself is only, it seems like 195 to like maybe 220 with taxes and stuff. Ben brings up an interesting point. He says, due to the currency conversion, Canada's Wonderland is technically cheaper for the Platinum Pass. Well, here's the thing with that. That actually might not be the case anymore because I saw some people talking about that online because people started catching on to that. And I think Cedar Fair realized that because some people online on a Facebook group were saying they went to buy their platinum pass from Canada's Wonderland to get it for cheaper. But when they went to do that, when they put their address in, it actually converted the price to like the US price. So I think Cedar Fair caught on to that and they kind of nipped that real quick, which is unfortunate. Airplane Fan 987 says, I think this year they will announce the Anaconda closure a few months later, just like Kings Island announced Orion in 2019 and announced Vortex closure a few months later. Um, yeah, I could see that. I could see that. Well, actually, with Kings Island, they announced Orion, and it wasn't a few months later. It was only like a month later that it was only a little over a month, like 5 weeks after that they announced Vortex's closure. So Stanford Bridge. Now, you said you remember the platinum passes being around 360. I've never seen them that expensive. I don't know. I don't know where that $360 price is coming from because I've never seen them anywhere near that. I've seen them like a little over 200 at the most. Gold is not $99 anymore. It went up to 129. They're done with that promotion. And 100, like, 129, $130, that's still really good, if you just want to go Cedar Point. Yeah, platinum's always cheapest in the fall. Yeah, that's when I always get them. Oh, Zach asks, Zach is Theme Park Media. He asks, any plans on going to American Dream when you're visiting Great Adventure? Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be hitting that on the same trip. I would love to go to American Dream, but I don't think it's going to happen on that trip. We already have that trip is already stacked for us. And American Dream is pretty expensive too. I think that'll have to be a separate trip. Coaster Fusion says, "Do you think Cedar Fair will ever do heavy theming, like add pre-shows, ride show scenes, etc.? They're starting to do some good theming lately. Take a look at Mystic Timbers, for example." I do agree that they're starting to do some pretty good theming. Mystic Timbers is pretty good theming. Copperhead Strike has really good theming for a Cedar Fair ride. Um, yeah, I don't think they'll ever do anything super elaborate. I could see them doing some pre-shows, but like nothing, like maybe a screen or something, but nothing too elaborate. And I think Yukon Striker's pretty well themed as well, you know. Stamford Bridge, you remember paying something in the 300 range when you got a platinum pass from Kings Island 2 years ago. Huh. I don't know. I mean, did you get add-ons? Was that with like, meal plans or anything like that? Cuz it would make sense if you got like a meal plan with it for it to be $300. But if you're talking about without any add-ons, that seems crazy to me. I'm going to Six Flags Great Adventure in early June. Like our trip is supposed to be this like the second week of June. I think we're planning on leaving like Sunday the 7th or something like that. And Great Adventure is going to be the first park that we hit. So it'll probably be like probably on or right around the 8th of June that we're at Six Flags Great Adventure. And by the way, somebody mentioned earlier that they announced Jersey Devils opening in early June. Is that true? Does anybody have like any info on that? I haven't seen that yet. I could look it up. Airplane fan asked, "Do you think Cedar Fair will put a shed in a brake run again, like they did with Mystic Timbers?" No, probably not. Yeah, the shed's due to having 3 trains. It is kind of nice that they did that for that fact, just to kind of give you something to kind of look at or whatever while they stack the trains. But oh, of course I've heard of Destination Thrill. Great channel. Yeah. Yeah. I watch Destination Thrills a lot. Good reviews. He has good reviews. So, and he just hit 1,000 subs recently. So congrats to him. All right, let's see. Jersey Devil. I'm gonna look this up. Oh man, it'd be great to join you at a Six Flags Great Adventure Stamford Bridge. That'd be awesome. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I understand. I get it. Yeah, June especially early June is a very good time to get to the parks. When I went to King's Dominion and Carowinds last year, it was in early June, like right around the same time. It was like the first week of June, and that was a perfect time to go. I mean, the crowds were so light. Like everything was a walk on at both parks. I mean, it still seemed like it was busy there. Like there was a lot of people, but the lines were like nothing. Yeah, I was aware that Skyrush was closed for some time due to a broken footer. Yeah, I do remember hearing about that. That sucks that it was closed. Yeah, I don't see anything about Jersey Devil opening in June. I yeah. But yeah, when I went to King's Dominion and Carowinds early June last year, like I said, perfect time to go. Like Fury 325, it was a walk on the whole time. All of my rides on it, I just walked right on. Maybe waited like one or two trains at the most. Copperhead Strike, I rode that like 7 times. And there was like one time where I waited like 20 minutes or like maybe half an hour. And all the other rides were basically like station waits or just went right out of the station just a little bit. Um, it was awesome. I-305 was a walk on every single time. And for the front row, I only waited like 2 or 3 trains, I think. Oh, Stamford Bridge, that sucks. You're only free from work when students are also free. Ah, yeah, that's a shame because that's obviously the perfect time to go to parks. That like Cedar Point in May. Oh man, that's great. May is a great time to go to Cedar Point, especially if you can go on a weekday. Like last year, like sometimes after work, I would head up to Cedar Point for like 3 hours or so after work, and there barely be anybody there on weekdays in May. Oh yeah, Canada's Wonderland. I definitely want to get there someday for sure. I mean, Leviathan is like pretty high on my bucket list. Leviathan looks amazing. Behemoth looks awesome. And I'm very curious about Yukon Striker as well. Been a lot of rides at Carowinds, from my experience, tend to have very short waits. Yeah, that was definitely my experience, but it could have just been time of the year. So CP remodeling Magnum, it would be nice maybe for like to see the trains upgraded or get like new trains or something like some of those awesome SNS trains. That'd be really cool. But I hope Magnum stays. I love Magnum, so I hope it stays for a while. I'll still have 6 Intamins to ride even if Jersey Devil is closed. Wait, does Great Adventure have 6 Intamins? Holy crap. Well, let's see. They have El Toro, they have King de Ka, they have I think the Skull Mountain is an Intamin ride. Um what other Intamins do they have? They have 6 Intamins? Holy crap. Um Dark Knight? No, that's Mach. Skull Mountain is Intamin. King de Ka. Oh, you mean on my whole trip? Okay, yeah. CP is my home park as well. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm planning on going to Kings Island for opening day for Orion's opening. Should be pretty interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'll be going to Cedar Point opening day regardless just because, but I'm not expecting anything fantastic. Opening days are always very just a mess. That was definitely the case last year, so oh yeah, Great Adventure actually has more B&Ms than any other park. They have 5 B&Ms, which that's the biggest B&M collection in any park in the world. So the Diamondback and Banshee opening day videos have sealed my decision not to go. I have not seen those. I'll have to check those out. And I wasn't in the community around the time those opened at all. So I wasn't keeping track of those. Well, we're getting close to an hour and a half here. Um, I'm going to be ending this stream here soon. But before I go, do you guys have any other like really interesting questions, like anything out of the ordinary that we haven't talked about yet? Something different than what we've talked about already? Anything you guys want to know before I end this stream? Of course, this stream, this Coaster Cafe is every Saturday at 8 p.m. So join me Saturdays at 8 p.m. if you enjoyed this. I know a lot of you guys have watched before, which is awesome. So, oh, okay. Stanford Bridge, good insight. Bizarro at Six Flags Great Adventure, and in the back row at night with the effects going is a pretty great ride. Underrated. Good to know. I mean, I think it looks definitely in and of itself. I think it looks like a good ride. So, looking forward to checking it out. The other B&Ms there, Airplane Fan, are Green Lantern, the stand up from Kentucky Kingdom, which was relocated. It used to be Chang. They have Nitro, the B&M Hyper, Batman, which is their, Batman clone, the invert. And what's the one I'm missing? I'm missing one B&M. Oh, Superman, the flying coaster. So five B&Ms at the park. Do I hope a new floorless will be built? I don't really care either way, honestly. Some of them are good, but hmm. All right, guys. Well, this has been fun. I'm going to end the stream now. So thank you guys so much again for joining me. I will see you guys next Saturday at 8 p.m. And Efteling, of course, it's on my wish list. I don't think I'll get there anytime soon, but looks like an awesome park. So like I said, thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. Hopefully I see some of you guys back next week at 8 p.m. and we'll do this all over again. And hopefully by next week, we'll see some of these new rides testing that have these trains on the tracks, like hopefully we see some of those testing by then. Um, yeah, I will do a video at some point talking about my plans for this year, Tim K. Yes. Good night, Stanford Bridge. Good night, guys. And real quick, I am working on a video right now that will be up soon, in the next couple days, probably. And it's something really long overdue that I haven't done yet. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. Yeah, so thank you guys again so much for joining me. This has been fun. Yeah. So I will see you guys in the next stream. This is Coaster Daddy.